Arrow panel. I need y'all to make some noise, maybe even stand up, get rowdy just a little bit for Mr. Stephen Amell and Katie Cassidy! Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm fantastic. Obviously, I'm sitting up here with some greatness. It is amazing. Not all heroes wear capes, but they definitely shoot arrows straight up here. That's how we do it. How are you?
Good, man.
Great.
Good.
How are you guys?
Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah! I'm not even going to waste no time. You got some fans that are lined up already. And again, y'all got questions. Get over here. Get to asking. But let's go ahead and start with a fan question.
Oh, me?
Yeah, you troublemaker.
Yes.
Hi,
Yes, you.
Hi, Katie.
Hi.
You remember you met me in Orlando?
Oh.
Me and my sister in a restaurant.
Yeah.
Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you too.
Caught you off guard. Hi, Stephen. Jack, will he be making an appearance today?
Jack Spade?
Yes.
No. Jack Spade's been making too many appearances all week for me. Jack Spade's in the closet today.
Okay.
He gets a
Not
rest.
that he's coming out of the closet this year, but he's in the closet. The
John
proverbial
Bierman
closet
just
today.
left, so that just kind of works, though.
Yes.
Definitely
It
does.
fits right in. I just wanted to thank you for all the work that you're doing with Knocking Point, as usual, with the charities,
Of course.
and especially for the Ukraine.
Sure.
Get some hand praise for that one.
I'm
y'all.
a fan, I'm a member, and I appreciate what you do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay?
Love it.
Now, this question is about, you stated that you get nervous before every new season, right? That was the way with Arrow. And you said on the Dudes Being Dudes podcast, check it out, everyone, best podcast out,
Hey.
that you were a little nervous for heels when you were starting this one. Now, what exactly makes you nervous, and how do you remedy it? How do you fix it?
So what makes me nervous?
Yes.
Is that when you're watching a television show, like when you're watching Arrow or you're watching Heels, you're so excited for that first episode, but as the actor, you're coming back, and I know that Katie can probably speak to this too. You haven't played the character in, like, I don't know, for me, I hadn't, we were like almost 10 months in between seasons-ish. So, like, I haven't been Jack Spade, I haven't used the accent, like I haven't done any of this stuff, and it's not like you can sort of half-ass it on the first day, right? Like, you'll never know, because we're not shooting sequentially, the first scene that you shot, but you certainly aren't as comfortable as you were, think about it like, sorry, I'm meandering here. Think about it like breaking in a pair of shoes.
Yeah,
Right.
you're living and breathing the character once
Right.
you're in it. But once you get...
But you break in a brand new pair of shoes. What do your feet feel like at the end of the first day?
They're dying.
They're
Yeah.
terrible. They're bleeding and they're hurting and all that stuff. And that's what it's like on that first day getting back in there. You're nervous. It's like the first day of school. You're seeing members of the crew again for the first time, actors again for the first time. And, again, like, there are no scenes where you can just kind of give 50%, right? But you kind of want to on the first day and pretend that no one notices you.
Okay,
No, it is
well,
very
thank you for
nerve-wracking.
that. And I'm a super Heels fan since the premiere. And I'm looking forward to like 5 more seasons.
6 to 5. No, let's go 5 to 6.
5 to 6
5
more
to
seasons?
6. We'll switch that around. 65 is a lot. Thank you so very much. Now, to kind of take a second to talk about the Arrowverse and how that started, in terms of your acting prowess, did you guys get to sit together as a group to kind of assuage this fear first, or was it a different sort of fear when you stepped on set?
For the pilot? Or
Yeah.
I don't feel... I think that one scene, I guess like the first scene, there's this, this adrenaline rush. But once, for me anyway, I got that out of the way, sort of, I don't know, I ended up just sort of getting into the character, and so you like, stop thinking about the camera, and I just remind myself of. I try and be the character as much as I possibly can, but it also helps with the nerves, I think, to do that.
Yeah, I mean, the pilot we were in Vancouver for like a month before we started shooting. I get nervous more like in season 3, where I would show up, I'd fly back to Vancouver on Sunday night and be on set on Monday morning. Wow. That's when you get a little nervous, yeah.
Beautiful. Yes.
Hi. So, when you guys were shooting Arrow, obviously Arrow came after Smallville. Was there talk to bring anyone from Smallville onto Arrow?
No.
No, I mean, the whole, like, it becoming the Arrowverse and all of these shows, none of that was thought about when they were making Arrow. The fact that the first season of Arrow was a success gave them being the creative team behind it, the opportunity to do other stuff. And then as we got into later years and all of the craziness that, with stuff like Crisis on Infinite Earths and things like that, that's when, stuff like Smallville was coming back. But if anything, even though the pilot of Arrow and the pilot of Smallville had the same director, Arrow was literally, they wanted to take Smallville and whatever it did and just turn 180 degrees and go the other way.
Okay.
And quite successfully at that, if we're being honest. Right?
Well,
That's why we're here.
Yeah, maybe if we had done like a couple more seasons, but no, they beat us.
Well, so
they did,
in terms of
Steven.
seasons, though.
Thank you.
That's my bad.
Yeah, they did, Steven. I'm just saying. Go ahead.
But to be fair, what you guys created with Arrow was truly monumental. And like what we've seen as superhero fare, you guys brought a realism to these characters that made it very accessible for even non-comic book fans. Were you guys comic fans before you started? And are you one now?
I wasn't necessarily, to be honest with you. Obviously, I did my research, as the actor in me should. But I was definitely a gamer growing up, and I definitely am a gamer still.
What's your platform? What do you?
Oh well, it's actually funny because I would on set I would bring my laptop, and in between scenes or setups or something, I called it like my brain break. I would use a trackpad and my keyboard to play Call of Duty and Radiation Island.
You did.
Yeah, I did. Really? John Barrowman will tell you. He would be like, because I was literally, it's hilarious watching me play because I get so invested and I'm like, holy shit. Like, he was like, what are you doing?
The better part of a decade together, and I have never witnessed a single brain break before, Katie.
Oh, well, I don't know where you go when you're in between scenes to your trailer.
I go to my trailer and I take a nap.
Oh, I can't nap. I can't.
She was busy shooting people. That's just what it is.
Radiation Island and Call of Duty, the best. So I like a trackpad and a laptop, but also PlayStation, and I really want a PS5. I just don't have one yet.
Well, we have one backstage. No,
yeah, right? That would be amazing.
Steven, what about you?
Repeat the question again, just because I'm freaked out by the Call of Duty.
Blown. But no, in terms of being a comic book fan, were you much of one before? Or
Oh yeah,
one after?
yeah, but not. I mean, I had a comic collection growing up. I was a big Superman, Spawn, Lobo. Ironically, and this is not on purpose, I have never purchased a single Marvel comic in my entire life.
That's fair. That's fair. He's a DC guy. Come on.
Yeah.
I was 8. But am I a fan now? Like I'm a fan now. Like I was sitting in my trailer yesterday, doing my version of a brain break, and like scrolled on and went, whoo, and I saw that Spider-Man No Way Home was like available. I purchased it immediately, and like that's basically my plan for tonight. Yeah.
We're hanging out with Steven later. That's what it is. Yes.
Hi. My parents are big Knocking Point fans, especially my mom. And she was wondering if there was any particular label or a particular wine that you were more proud of or most proud of.
So for Knocking Point, the labels that I'm proud of, well, I mean, there's ones that I really enjoyed creatively, like the ones that we didn't really have to do too much. Like we did a wine with Jason Momoa, and
Why haven't we done a wine?
I don't know.
Ooh.
I
I'm
don't know what
just
you think.
saying.
We can talk about that.
Okay, great.
We can
Thanks.
talk about that.
I need a meeting with you later.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Momoa did a wine, and we're like giving him suggestions. He's like, I want the wine to be called Dirtbag, and I'm like, okay. And he's like, and here's a piece of art, and it was like all done. So it was part of
Hey,
that.
let's drop it as an NFT.
Yeah, we're getting into that. But no, my daughter art directs a label every year.
That's awesome.
And I always enjoy that because it was like one year it was like a sloth and a palm tree. I think this year she's going to draw it. So I like those.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you, parents, for me.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Yes.
Hi, Stephen. You were obviously, I'm a big fan of you. You have been an inspiration. Obviously, you were the glue of the Arrowverse. You were like the Iron Man of the series. And obviously, we've seen your character evolve during the years and all. And obviously, so we wanted to know, what was it like, the process of when it was time to film your final episodes, your final scenes? What was it like to say goodbye to the Arrowverse?
Oh, it was really hard, man. It was really hard because we decided in season 6. I decided in season 6 that we were going to start to wrap it up, and I thought that the last season would be season 7. But then the original creator of the show, Greg Berlanti, had an idea for a truncated 8th season, and that just made the whole thing was like one long goodbye, because I'd be working with a director for the last time, or I'd be doing a scene with a certain actor for the last time, or like in the episode that Katie directed in the last season, which was
Oh, yeah.
episode. Do you remember? It was like episode 3
Leap of
was
faith.
like leap of. That was like. That was my last time working with Katie as a director on the show. It was my first time in a long time, but I think last time working with Willa, who played Thea. And so every episode, every day on that entire last season, there would be some sort of tearful goodbye with somebody. And it sucked. It was really, I mean, it was rewarding, but it was very emotionally draining.
Wow.
So by the time we got to the end of it, and we shot the last scene last, and I walked into my trailer, and a bunch of my friends were there, and I was like, "Oh, guys, go away." So it was a lot. But it is what it is.
That's beautiful. Katie, what was it like to come back and direct and be behind the camera as opposed to in front of it?
Oh my gosh. Okay. When I discovered directing, and I was like, wait a second. So wait, you're telling me as long as I stay within the aesthetic of the show, I get to create this world? Shut up. Oh, I found my flow. This is where I'm supposed to be. I was like, oh my, I don't know how to explain it. It just was seamless. And not to say it's seamless, it's just when you sort of just know something. Obviously, I've acted for a long time, but I went through the Warner Brothers Directors Program, which I'm so grateful for. It was
amazing.
Incredible, yeah. And I actually just got hired to direct my first feature film.
Make some noise.
Thank you. I cannot say what the title is just yet, but there will be an announcement soon.
Okay.
So you are, sorry, I got off track.
No,
what it was like
I'm off track with
directing,
you. I'm
yes.
excited about that.
I know. I'm trying to convince Steven to convince Heels to let me direct an episode of Heels
Ooh.
at some point. But yeah, I mean, I love it. I mean, the last season, Arrow was hard for me to say goodbye season 4, and then to say goodbye again season 5 because they think they repeated that scene and had us reshoot my death scene. And then, but it's nice to come, to these conventions and get to see, we become like family when we're shooting. And so it's nice it's like a little family reunion when we come and we get to see you guys and, it's just genuine camaraderie.
I love that.
I love it.
That. Stephen, would you do that? Would you go back and do like a episode of Flash and direct that or?
Oh, and direct?
Yeah. Directing.
No, I mean, I'm very, very interested in directing. It's being the lead on a show and directing it is an incredibly challenging thing from a logistical standpoint, because as Katie will tell you, if Katie was directing episode 3 of the final season, in all likelihood, you were either not in or in like one scene.
I wasn't in it.
Okay, so you weren't in episode 2.
No,
because-
episode 2 was all my character. I was dying. Yep. I know. I was prepping while shooting episode 2.
Oh, well, that's really unkind of them.
Oh, I know. But you know what? I still crushed my episode.
Yes, you did.
Yes, and I was grateful
But
for
you
that.
you need to prep.
Right.
And I've spent a great deal of time on set and learning from a lot of really, really wonderful directors. But the workshop that Katie did at WB and the practical experience that comes with certain things and the geometry with which you put together a scene, I don't know that stuff from Adam. I really don't. But I'm interested.
Okay, that's awesome.
Thank you guys so much for being part of the Arrowverse. We will never forget you. Thank you for 8
Thank
years.
you.
So very true.
Thank
And
you.
Steven, do you think we might see you shirtless?
No. You can. He wants to see you shirtless.
Oh,
No, I'm kidding.
I was like, I told you, personal requests like that, I'm going to do them, and it's not going to be the same. Hello?
Hi, my name is Lisa, and I see you and Katie are often on the rosters of various cons. For us as fans, it's our chance to meet the actors who embody the characters we love, like Arrow and Heels. My question is for you as actors and individuals, what do you take away from the cons?
What do you take away from the cons?
I have a lot of gratitude and appreciation, and I think it's really uplifting to be here and to meet you guys, because you're the reason why you guys support us and watch our show. And so honestly, there's just this like heartwarming an enormous amount of gratitude I have from all of you. So thank you for making me feel, it just sort of lifts your spirits. And it's nice to see, meet people who support you. So thank you.
I mean, I usually have to take like 10 or 15 minutes after a day like today, after a day at a con, and I have to take 10 or 15 minutes by myself to chill out, because you hear a lot of uplifting stories. You hear some challenging stories too. But I think overall, like I just met a guy in line, and he said, I'm paraphrasing, but he said, all my really good friends right now, we're all good friends because of Arrow. Like we used to talk about it like at recess in middle school, and that's why we're all. Is that person here? Hey, man. Hey. All right. So won the shirt contest. Yeah.
I love that. That's amazing.
That stuff is really cool. Makes me feel old as shit. But it's cool.
I also met someone, not at this convention, who I think she was 8.
Oh, yeah.
Her name was Laurel. Her name was Laurel. She's
8. Oh.
Okay.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I get it now. I get it. Yeah. Hey, just a
Talk
public
about making
service
you feel
announcement. You don't need to tell us, people in your 20s, how old you were when you started watching the show. Okay? Teenagers, that goes double for you. We don't care.
No,
we don't
we
want to know.
appreciate you, but just leave the age out of it. Sorry, go ahead.
So beautiful.
Thank you all
Actually,
very much.
having seen you guys at shows before, I can thoroughly attest that your empathy to your fans and their experience with you is so amazing. And it's definitely something that I hope every celeb that has this experience aspires to, because you guys truly care about their experience. It is one of the best things that I've seen in this profession. So I got to give you your roses on that one.
Thank you. It's one of those really good responsibilities that if you're able to wrap your arms around a responsibility like that, that it bleeds into other parts of your life in a positive way.
I concur.
Next question.
So I know, Stephen, when you said one of the hardest things you had to do was film the Earth X crossover because you were playing both sides of the coin. Yep. So I know that can be a little bit of anxiety and anxious to kind of go, okay, which way to go? And in Arrow's a lot of meditation practices. Do you still do meditation, and how does that kind of help you kind of calm down? Same to you, Katie.
Do you meditate?
I do. I'm a huge believer in meditating every day, at least 20 minutes. I also have been writing more, and I'm realizing I have to meditate in order to actually get into a flow state, if that makes any sense. Yep. And then when I'm in that state, you just sort of, it's like I get lost in a vortex, but then the next day I look at what I wrote and I'm like, whoa, wow, that's actually not, that's actually kind of good. I've now, again, lost my train of thought. What was your question?
So does your meditation help you?
Yes, thank you. Meditation, I'm big on it. Stephen?
Yeah, my meditation is I need like 30 minutes to a minimum of 30 minutes in the morning by myself, right? Like in a house full of people, I need just time by myself to make coffee. I've been writing a lot more recently, just sort of like a checklist for the day. Like I write down basic stuff, like eat well, just basic stuff. And I swear to God, this is true. I set aside like 5 to 10 minutes to scroll through TikTok.
That's necessary.
I'm serious, because when you can get like one video that's like a philosophical life lesson about the importance of parenting, and then you back that up with someone getting smashed in the face with something, that is right in the pocket for me.
There you go.
Thanks, guys.
That's true meditation right there. Hello.
Hey, how you guys doing? I'm Christian. I have two questions for both of you guys. One is, how many times did Stephen Amell fail the city? And the second one would be, when did you find out you would be Spectre? When did you find out you would be Black Canary?
What did I find out I would be what?
Black Canary.
Well, I was supposed to be Black Canary. Well, it's kind of a long story. I knew my character before I got the pilot. I knew my character was going to be the Black Canary. They were like, yeah, probably like the end of season 1. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Okay, great. This is going to be awesome. Can't wait. But then obviously it was a little bit longer. They brought Katie Lotz, who I freaking adore, and she's awesome. And so, but I loved the way that the journey my character had to go through, and the way the writers wrote for me. It was a great arc. But I found out officially end of season 2, I think, is when I put on the jacket.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah. You're like this, like, encyclopedia. You usually know everything about this
It's starting
stuff.
to go.
Oh, no. Oh, no. No. We need you.
I know, end of season 2.
End of season 2.
Yeah.
So that's when I officially found out, and I cried when I put the jacket on. It was pretty awesome.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I didn't know what the Spectre was at all. I thought that I was like the word police or something like that. Like I didn't know. I really had no idea. How many times did I fail the city?
I don't know how many episodes did we shoot.
I failed the city 170 times.
There you go.
Thank you, guys.
It's a growing process, guys. It's not true failure. Yeah. If that.
You don't want to ask a question? No, sorry. Hi, I have a 2 question as well.
Sure.
So I'm a big DC fan, and I think I started to like Stephen when I heard you started trying to speak Cantonese.
Yeah.
I thought that was, pretty interesting. And then, of course, the Salmon Ladder. That was definitely a plus on top of that. But my first question is, as a DC fan, like you guys were supposed to end up together. That didn't happen. So was it like a huge shock to you guys with the change from the comics?
This is an interesting question, actually, because, the thing, did I tell you this? What Laurel says to Oliver in the hospital, you're the love of my life, but I'm not the love of yours.
Yeah.
Do you know I said that to Mark the season before? Because I was like, I don't think Oliver's in love with Laurel. I think Laurel's in love with the idea of Oliver from who he was.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
But yeah, what do you think about that? I'm actually curious about.
I mean, I think that everyone has the best laid plans. Like, everyone has the best laid plans. So much stuff goes into the pilot of a television show. Like, I don't want to yank the curtain back too far because the creative process is something that should be protected. Pardon me? Sacred. But concurrently, the best laid plans are there for the pilot. And then they're like, hey, awesome. You get to do a series now. So you have way less time, make 22 more of those episodes, and find the stuff that works. And people have an idea of what's going to work, of what people are going to gravitate towards, but no one knows what's going to pop, what people are going to resonate with. And so like you talk with people like midway through the first season, through the second season, and they'd be like, no, Oliver and Laurel end up together. And then those same people would be like, yeah, no, Oliver and Felicity are going to get married. And it's like, all right, well, who knows?
It does create a unique experience for everyone too, because you're not beholden to a blueprint that somebody else created. You guys get to create your own thing.
Yeah. I mean, listen, there's a number of things that we did that have nothing to do with the canon
Right.
of the whole thing.
Yeah.
As a super geek, I totally understand that. What was your second question?
With DC finally doing more movies, TV shows, and it's just actually finally catching up to Marvel, do you plan on being the big screen for DC? Or would you guys be interested in it? If so, what character would you want to play? What character would you want to play?
I really want to play Catwoman.
Do you?
Yeah, and I have
I can see
3
that.
cats, right?
Okay.
Okay, I'm just saying. Go ahead. What about you?
No, I'm good. I'm good sticking with Oliver Queen. I'll stick with that character.
Nice.
You can ask.
I like that. Great questions. Thank you.
No
Hello.
plans though. I mean,
Or the female
that out there.
Joker.
the female.
I want to
Joker,
play
that'd
the
be a good
female
one.
Joker.
That would be a Earth 2, former Martha Wayne. I told you I'm a nerd, okay? That's... Yes.
Hi, I'm Olivia. I'm more of a recent fan because with the pandemic and having to go to Zoom University and all that kind of stuff. You guys do like a lot of radio talk, so I was wondering if like you accidentally slip into saying copy that and stuff like that. 'Cause I do
Can you
at my
speak a
job.
little closer to the microphone?
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I was wondering, with a lot of the lines, you had to do like a lot of like radio chat, like copy that and stuff like that. So I was wondering if you ever slipped into doing that in real life.
I still had a hard time hearing what you said.
A little bit. You were saying that with the amount of like dialogue and stuff that they had to do?
So a lot of the dialogue is radio speak, and
There we go.
I do a lot of radio speak.
What do you mean
in my
by
job.
radio speak?
Like copy that, 10-4, something like that. So I was wondering if you ever like slipped into it on accident in real life.
Do you use that in... Oh.
Wait,
Yeah. All the time. All the time. Hey, Steven, can you take out the trash? Roger that. Steven, you're not on set.
Right.
Sorry, Cass. Yep.
10-4. That's too funny. Do you do that, Katie?
I actually, I don't think so. I don't know. Maybe.
Do you do that?
Yes, I'm housekeeping dispatch / seamstress, so I constantly do it.
That's amazing.
My boss accidentally called me, tried to call me in radio speak. We do like Matt to Olivia, so he tried to call me in his office by saying Matt to Olivia. And I'm like,
Wow. That's amazing. I think it's more common for us to be like, you know, on a business call and get off the phone like, I love you, and then just kind of get off the phone. Yeah.
Oh wait, I didn't.
I'm sorry, that's awkward now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, so question I have is sort of similar to the one beforehand about the DCEU, but in the early stages when they were developing and releasing Batman versus Superman and Wonder Woman, to you, Stephen, did you ever have any concepts that you created that of how to transition Arrow from CW into the DCU? And if you did, how close was it to happening?
Incredibly close. I had multiple meetings. We had a movie greenlit, ready to go, that we would have shot in between season 2 and season 3, and it got shut down at WB. And it's a absolutely preposterously stupid mistake that they made.
Man.
Agreed. We all got
You
robbed.
see the difference between once we're done shooting and now?
You can answer.
Yeah, no, we had a whole movie set up where Oliver would be taking all of the. Wait. We were going to shoot it between season 2 and season 3, and it was going to be Oliver transporting a bunch of prisoners to a supermax.
Yes.
And they were going to crash and then have to fend for themselves, and obviously, like, you know, there'd be people wherever they crashed, and like harrowing life or death stuff. So we were going to shoot that during the hiatus, and then that was going to build into the storyline after our mid-season finale in season 3, so that the entire season 3 we'd be building towards it, and then it would come out in theaters in like January before we then came back, and they were like, no.
Wow.
No, we're gonna make Batman Superman.
We were robbed. You're blowing my mind. Thank you.
You're welcome.
WB failed this city. That's what that was.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Hi, I was curious, like, when you were doing, like, crossover episodes, like, how was it doing, like, crossover episodes with people like Grant?
Oh, it was actually, I'm just going to chime in here.
Okay.
Well, for me, exhausting. And never looking forward to shooting a crossover, because you're working around the clock, but I'm not even the Arrow. So for him, what did you share?
Yeah, it was always really, really fun when the cameras were rolling. Like, the actual work and fans getting to see the crossovers
that's fun.
made everything worth it. It was always a little bit of a logistical quagmire, but you know, outside of the core group on Arrow, Grant was by far and away my favorite person to work with. I always loved working with that guy, and there was something about the interaction between Barry and Oliver that like just would lighten Oliver up a little bit, which was always a really nice respite from all of the other stuff that I was doing at the time. So yeah, I really liked it. It was always challenging, but I remember always wanting to, because I wouldn't watch every episode always. I would watch like cuts of episodes. I would always watch the crossover episodes. Awesome. Always.
Yeah, it was great to work with everyone, and it was always fun. It was just, you never really got much sleep during those episodes, but definitely worth it.
Do you have a favorite crossover?
Yeah, the Elseworlds crossover where Grant and I swap bodies.
That was hilarious.
That was so much fun.
Katie, what about you? Do you have a favorite?
When Laurel was on Flash.
Yeah.
Yep.
Season
2. Yes, season 2.
That's right. Thank you very, very much. Uh-oh.
Oh.
All right, so I have 2 questions, actually. Oh, hold on. There we go. So the first one, obviously at the end of Arrow, at the very last episode, there was a scene where Dig found a Green Lantern ring. It was kind of burned, didn't show the ring itself. But do you know of
Well.
CW Green Arrow release, maybe?
Sorry, say that again.
Sorry.
Phone's freaked out. Sorry. So the last scene, Dig finds the
Green Lantern ring.
Yeah.
Right. So, do you know of an Arrowverse Green Lantern kind of release, or if they're gonna follow up on that?
They don't tell me anything anymore.
It's a dangling thread, though. We're keen-eyed.
It
We're
is
looking.
dangling. I know. Look, I know. There are so many things in the works with HBO Max and this and that. I mean, I know that David is doing another Arrowverse series.
And I have a something up my sleeve.
Oh,
but
snap.
Not yet
Okay.
to be announced. But so things happen,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
What was your
And,
other question?
My second question is, Katie, who did you prefer playing? Did you prefer Black Canary or Siren?
Oh, that's such a hard question. It's tough. I mean, I enjoyed playing both characters. You know, Laurel, I don't know, just she's the original gangster to me. Black Canary, amazing. However, I have to say I loved, with Black Siren, I kind of just took the character and spun it on its head, and it was really fun because they wrote really well for me, and with, I don't know, there was just sort of this sassy, almost like comedic timing at times, and it was a lot more fun to play in that sandbox rather than the sandbox where Laurel was hitting rock bottom and taking pills and crying every episode in season 2. That sandbox was not so fun. So I hope that answers your question.
Thank
Very
you.
well said. We are running close on time, so we can only do one question per person now.
Okay. I just wanted to share something with Steven. So I'm a teacher, and I teach 4th grade. And the kids that I teach are not used to cold weather at all. So every time it gets cold, my students ask me, Mr. Reyna, how are you not wearing a jacket right now? How are you not cold? And I always
I survived for 5 years in the North China Sea, kids.
I was
don't get
stranded
cold.
on a deserted island in the North China Sea, and they're all like, what?
Sir, as a teacher, that's plagiarism, okay? I just want you to know that. You're in trouble.
Hilarious.
This is for Steven. My hero, you're her hero. So wave, Kathy.
Oh, that's so sweet. And now you're my hero for saying that.
She's your biggest fan. Took me in when I was a troubled 16-year-old, abused, wild, crazy, loved wrestling. And we asked her today, my sons are in the back. She said, why are you so into this guy, Stephen Amell, right? And she just gave them a simple, profound answer. He's just a good guy. You know, and I think that speaks for all of us. So thank you for everything.
I was talking with Kathy earlier. She came to my line, and she was just like, you know, it's tough. These conventions aren't built for these 72-year-old legs. And I looked at her and I said, doesn't everyone here know who you are? Okay. If anyone gives you shit, you just let me know.
There you
okay?
go. There you go. Point them out. Thank you. Thank you.
You are a good guy. Yeah.
Name's Jeremy. Of course, I noticed with you, Stephen, that Jared Padalecki and Jensen Ackles, you guys are pretty tight. But was there kind of ever any talk as far as either one maybe being in an episode of Supernatural or Arrow or anything like that?
Yeah, there was. The number of times that we tried to get me to be like someone serving them coffee in a diner or something like that. It almost happened multiple times. I think there was actually like a day on the schedule once where it was about to happen, and then for whatever reason it it never worked out. But you know, alas.
Man. Hello.
I was a big fan of Arrow, which led me to finding Code 8 and Netflix, and I thought it was an awesome movie and a great concept. Are you in the works on making anything else like that, or is that just like one and done?
Yeah, we made a very similar movie this past fall in Toronto. It's called Code 8 Part 2.
Okay.
Yeah, it should be. So that movie did well on Netflix, and then Netflix stepped up because the first one was crowd financed, crowdsourced. Netflix stepped up and underwrit did the budget for the second one, so it's much bigger. It should be much later this year, or very, very early 2023.
Awesome. Love that. Hello.
Hi. Would y'all be able to tell us some of the wonders of working with John Barrowman?
Is he here?
I mean, he was, but he can come back anytime.
I wouldn't be surprised.
You say his name 3 times, they'll appear.
I will never forget, and then I'll let you go. I will never forget. It was the 16th episode of season 1, and it's when we're finding out that Barrowman is Tommy's dad, so he's Malcolm Merlin, and I think he gets shot, and I need to save his life and do a blood transfusion with Tommy. It's when Tommy finds out I'm the Arrow, and if this is a spoiler, I'm sorry. This happened 9 years ago. And we were shooting this stuff with John, and it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and then all of a sudden he just bursts out in a Scottish accent, and I had known him for months at the time and was positive that he was from like Colorado. And then this accent just comes out because he's talking to his parents. And you can tell me anything about John, and I would believe it.
Absolutely.
And I mean that in the best way possible.
Yeah.
I was shooting some kind of emotional scene, the Sun episode, and I think it was with Steven. And, I try and stay in it while I'm on set, regardless. So I'm super focused, and in between scenes or setups, I'm, isolating myself, crying in a corner or something. I don't know. And so basically, and I usually on these days don't have my phone with me. Like I'll leave it in my trailer. But for whatever reason, this day I did have it with me, and I went to check it. And I look at my phone, and it's a picture of John Barrowman with his ass. In my trailer, and he's smiling like this and showing, like sitting on my couch. So he takes this picture. It wasn't anything that was like too inappropriate, thank goodness. But I just remember I literally laughed out loud. Like definitely something I needed. I needed to have that like moment because it got dark and depressing sometimes. So he definitely always makes me smile and makes me laugh. And he wasn't even in that episode. And somehow, so I knew he was in my trailer. And then I just saw him in hair and makeup. And it was like it was a reunion. It was hilarious.
Beautiful, beautiful, love it. And saving the best for last.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm Maria Lopes from Brazil. I stay here only to see you in person, Steven. And I'm very fan of you in cast too, of course. And I loved Arrow and I loved Hughes too. And I would like to make a question about this. Did you regret leaving Arrow, or you'd like to be resurrected in a new season?
Steven?
Do I regret leaving? Yeah. I think I made the right decision, but I do regret leaving. My kid was born during the second season up in Vancouver, made lifelong friends up there. It's certainly, after going on 8 years, it becomes very comfortable and familiar, makes me happy. I just was seeking something else creatively. And again, I think for the long term, for my career, both personally, professionally, emotionally, I think that I made the right decision. Did I think I made the right decision in like May of 2020? No. But with every passing day, I think so. Although,
I guess you still could get resurrected.
Of course, Michael Keaton's about to play Batman again.
Also true.
Okay?
Yes.
Like, people ask about this all the time. Are you going to go back? And it's like, yeah, well, like, give me a minute. Like,
you can
like is Daniel Radcliffe eventually going to be in Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince?
Yeah, I know, exactly.
Of course he is, right? But it's just like, it hasn't been that long. But yeah, no, I'm happy with the decision, but I do have regret. I really do. It was not an easy decision because it didn't just affect me.
Right.
It affected everyone on the show. I mean, Katie once threatened to kill me if we didn't go 10 years, actually.
Wow. I miss you in Bravo
Oh yeah,
too.
the pilot.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Every time she's around me now, we have to pat her down for weapons.
Oh my goodness.
No, but seriously, I did say this to him. I was like, if you F this up for us, I will kill you. Okay? But I think ever since that day, I think there was like a level of like, okay, respect. Just like,
Yeah, throw it all on the table, Katie. Go for it. That's
mess
fine.
with Katie.
Oh my God. Seriously, Katie, Stephen, thank you for creating the Arrow family that we're all a part of. And thank you for letting us share this time with you and hear all these wonderful stories. Fandemic, make some noise, y'all.
Thank you,
Thank you,
guys.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys, feel free to check them out downstairs on the con floor. I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. We'll see you guys later. Bye.
Can you guys get in the background for our picture? Gather around here in the center, if you don't mind. Thanks.
Selfie, no selfie.
Arms longer.
Here, put it up higher.
Yeah, we'll go this row.
Thank you guys so much.
Hi, this is Maisie Richardson-Sellers, and you are watching Fandom Spotlight. Be a legend and hit that like button, and most importantly, have fun and follow your fandom.